Okay. All right. Well, we are live, I hope. Just gonna wait for everything to be up before I start. Hopefully everything's working and this sound's not too overpowering in terms of the background audio music. We shall see. Notification on my phone? What is that for? Got a text message from somebody. Okay. So, who's all out there watching? Sound off if you're in the chat. So that I know at least everything's working. Ooh, that actually reminds me, I should go ahead and... Hello, Andronus. Am I saying that right, Andronus? Or is it, or are there certain syllables that are stressed that I'm not stressing? Gotta make sure that I can... So, Andronus? Would that be more correct? Just give me a second, guys. I'm going ahead to... I'm trying to get the link to the stream so I can put it in my Discord. All right, that's good. So yeah, just give me a second. I'm trying to get the link to the stream so that I can go ahead and put it in my Discord. Just bear with me, guys. Okay, there we go. So yeah, we've I got that out. So now let's get to this. So I think it's been long enough for people to filter in. It's I've worked a little bit more on this since the last stream. You can probably tell if you were here previously. How is the audio for the music, by the way? Is it too loud, or is it just okay? It looks alright on my end, but that doesn't necessarily mean much. Ah. That sounds cool. Andronus? Andronus? There we go. I'm gonna fuck it up. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna fuck your name up. Hey, Red. Hey, welcome to my half-baked horrible stream. But yeah, so I've done a little bit more work on the map since last stream. I got. I think at this point, I'm willing to say, unless any of you guys spot anything that's kind of out of the ordinary or like super bad, but I'm pretty sure this continent is done in terms of its contour, like terrain contours. I think I'm okay with it. I don't know, I might break up some of the shapes here a little bit. Like this seems pretty straight, but that could just exist, so I'm kind of on the fence about that. And I'm starting to work on this area, drawing out the contours here. I've got most of it kind of worked out in my head, and I'm just kind of filling it out. I've got most of this here in the this southern Scandinavia type outcrop here done. The big problem is going to be like this big wide open mess, because I want this to be like analogous to like a Russia kind of thing, but that means it's going to be fairly flat, so I'm not sure if I can really represent it with the contours that I have, because I went with a pared down contour palette, so I've only got 10 layers of land contour, and one of them being the base. So oh, thanks, Red. Yes, and also the latency is pretty bad, so I'm trying to keep up with chat, which actually keeping up with the chat isn't a problem. It's just me getting ahead of the chat by a fair margin, so we'll see. So yeah, I've got to work out like what I'm going to do with this like big wide open space on the eastern side of this southern continent. And then I haven't really done anything with this northern one. I've gotten like the main mountain range kind of worked out, but I need to figure out how that's going to work into this like continent itself. I might have to put some highlands here and there to kind of work. And then the southern island continent chain thingy. I'll work out names for this at some point. I think I like it. I just need to fill out some of these smaller islands, and I think I like the way it's set up now. So we'll see about that. But yeah, I'm kind of just we're at the point now where it's a lot of doing something, like pulling back and looking at how that looks, and then kind of fixing it from there. Like it's not a quick process to do contour lines with this kind of style. So I mean, I was hoping to get this done during the week so that we could start doing like rivers and like land borders and like nation like colors and stuff like that. But unfortunately, well, actually, no. Fortunately for me, unfortunately for the map's progress, I was commissioned to do a map from somebody else. I'm not sure if they want me to say their name, so I'm not going to. So yeah, that I've been on and off working on that when I would normally be doing this. So yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So yeah, let's get to work here. If I can remember my shortcut keys, there we go. Let's work here. How's everybody doing? Oh yeah, the map commission I got was from Andronus. He commissioned me to do a map for his D&D game, which is coming along, by the way. I've gotten the landforms all drawn out on your map, and I got the rivers and lakes and stuff like that. I'm working on like drawing out some hills, doing the forests, and kind of like working through that. It's coming along. I just had to spend a lot of time yesterday doing some editing and stuff for Kingmaker. Hey, rival. How you doing, buddy? How's everybody doing? Let's go with that. How's everyone doing today? And that's a good way to gauge like how much the lag is between the chat and my and what I see. Okay, what layer am I on? Okay, that's I want to do some I want to do the low layers here, so oh, that's good, Red. I'm glad to help. I saw that, dude. That's great. You're luckier than I, because I never got a call back about that one that I interviewed for. So, I'm still destitute and slowly dying. So, you know, that's my life. Oh, don't worry, Andronus. I'm sticking fairly close to your map, and then I'll kind of edit from there when I get to that point. Red. They had like the guy said he had like 70 something applications for 2 positions. I can't, you know, I can't complain. At least I got the interview. Given the fact that I've literally never worked a register in any of my jobs that I've had before, because I've always worked in back-end retail, so I've never worked the register, which is that's always a turn. I can always see when they kind of just switch off after they hear that. So so you know that's kind of just a thing. No, I don't want to swap rival. I like Duke, even though he's been a little terror all day today. Been just trying to see where he can ow see where he can get at. Ow, no, down Jesus. Yeah, no, it's yeah, Duke's here. He's been and he's discovered it before, but he's discovered the bathroom, I guess, again, and now he wants to play around with everything on the counter and like get in the sink and all that. I mean, which isn't a problem. I don't give a crap if he's in the sink. I just give a crap if he like knocks down like all my razors and like my shaving cream and all the deodorant and everything off the countertop. The funny thing is, he doesn't even he has very selective about what he likes to play with and what he doesn't like to play with. It's kind of crazy. I'm not sure what drives him in that sense, but something is. Let's put like a little hilly area here. It's really thin. And I'm sorry if the definition's not that much. You're claiming uncleship, rival? Is that what's happening here? Yeah, sorry if the definition of the layers isn't that much, or it isn't showing up on stream. Not much I can really do about that. Hopefully it does. I mean, they will once I start filling in the contour areas themselves. Yeah, because rival, it doesn't really work, because that would imply that you're my brother. I've got enough of them as it is. Oop, that's wrong. Let's misclick. All right, Red. Okay, okay. I know when I'm beat. Got the law on your side. See, the question is there anything else I can do for this area here before I move on? Trying to see. So this is where I'm saying is at some point you kind of have to look at this and you're just like, what works, what doesn't, and you kind of add and then subtract, and you're just trying to figure out what looks good. Because I don't want to clutter it too much, especially for the scale this map's in. Well, Rival, I am this map. Hold on, I'll zoom out. The map you see here is a it's a world map for a. Basically, I want to write a book. For everybody watching, so basically this is I'm wanting to write a book. And I've got a setting in mind, and I've got like a plot line in mind, but I have trouble. But I find that I work better if I have some spatial reference. So the first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to design the world, because that can also inform world building down the line about like nations and ideologies and kind of a lot of things like that. So this is that world's map, and I'm trying to just work out. So right now I'm doing all of the height contours for it. So like, you know, the land contours, and then I'll get to the ocean afterwards. But yeah, it's a world map for a book I want to write. For the setting for a book I want to write. That's what this is, and I decided it would be better if I went ahead and did some world building like on a stream. Like there's a good test for it because it's not a game, so I can kind of stream this without too much trouble. And I thought maybe it would help me focus more, so I wouldn't get like off track with my like low-key ADHD. If I had some people to talk to, bounce ideas off of, and kind of share things. You know, if you say things out loud, it's easier to figure out if you're crazy or if it's like a stupid idea or something like that. So, or if something looks good and it doesn't look good. In terms of maps, I have pretty much instantaneous critique, which is pretty nice actually, because I usually have to like send these maps out to friends and stuff and kind of wait for them to come and come and look and tell me how they feel about them. So this is kind of a new experience, some instantaneous idea or instantaneous critiques. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make this a moderately high, like a moderate highland, like this little offshoot, like one side of it. So we're gonna go up from 9. Let's go up to layer. Let's do layer 7. Yeah. Actually, that's because I couldn't figure out, Rival, if I could, because I have friends that stream for art, but they do it on sites that, they do it on streaming sites that aren't like Twitch or YouTube. So they listen to music all the time, and I listen to music while I work because I find it helps me focus. So I have to now kind of pick things that don't, get copyright strike, and that's basically Paradox game like OSTs, and I have this and Victoria, and I didn't really want to listen to Victoria, so we're kind of stuck with this. Not that it's a bad thing. This is 987, so let's pick that for my color picker. Yeah, Red. That's yeah. That's basically what what it is. I get off track a lot when I work. So I'll especially because when I'm not listening to just music tracks, I'll have YouTube on, and sometimes I'll get kind of sucked in to. Ooh, that's not the right. I'm in the wrong mode for that. Okay, I kind of get sucked into a video or something, and it just doesn't really. It leads to me kind of not getting as much work done as I would really want. So I'm hoping this results in me getting more work done on this project. I do my Sleeping Giants prep for it, but that would create some spoilers. So, see, the thing is, Red, yes, that I agree. But the thing is that the setting kind of works because it's not a Victorian setting for the book, but it is like a fantasy, like World War I fantasy interwar period kind of setting. So it is closer than Stellaris in terms of a setting feel. But I don't know, world building. First thing that popped in my mind was actually the first thing that popped in my mind was Surviving Mars. But I'm not sure if that's okay to have in the background because there are actual songs with lyrics in there, so I'm not sure if that's good or not. So I didn't go ahead with that. All right, we're gonna make this like a really short. Yeah, I think that's good. So we're gonna fill these in here. Yeah, well, don't worry, Red. I'm not planning on doing Sleeping Giants on here, at least not anytime soon. Just going to be working on this, which currently, my preliminary... actually, what is my preliminary title for the book? Oh, it's going to piss me off now that because I've got the shortened version as my map file repository name. Oh. Now I gotta open up. Oh, where's it at? Actually, hold on. Where's my writing program? I mean, did I lose my writing program? Where the hell is it? I got way too many of these damn shortcuts. So now I'm trying to be quick about it, and now I've completely lost track. Where the hell is my writing program? Because now I'm gonna... Oh, thank you, Red. I have it on a rotating... I have about, I don't know, a few hundred different pictures that are in like a big file, so it kind of rotates on both my monitors. So, like, if I do this, I can kind of just go through a lot of these, and it's like every other one will rotate this one. So I just have a whole bunch of various, like, space and interesting artwork that I put into the background, you know, as kind of stuff that looked interesting to me. I don't know, it's a couple hundred of these. Okay, there we go. Hold on one second. See, the thing is, Rival, I know where everything is in my on my desktop, so I don't need none of your sass. There we go. The current working title of the book is In the Lion's Den, but I'm not sure if that's taken by another book of a similar genre, which would mean that if I did get an agent for it, they'd tell me to change it. But that's the current working title, is In the Lion's Den, because I thought that sounded cool and kind of fits with the whole theme of the book. So That's what this world is. It's the So we're working on the Lion's Den world map, and hopefully it turns out good enough that I don't have to try another one, because oh god, you guys don't even want to know how many times I had to remake the Sleeping Giants world map. I don't want to do that again for this one. An idea in my brain is just it's always right at the cusp of just being thrown out because I don't like how it turned out. So hopefully this passes muster the first time through, because this will be a fairly involved mapping project to start out with. Okay. So we got that. And then we need to go to layer 9 and color swatch 9. But oh, that's a little bit too broad of stroke. Okay. But yeah, so right now we're just placing in all of the various contour layers. I'm trying to keep things interesting by providing some commentary and interesting stuff to talk about, but I'm basically just drawing squiggles right now, so it's hard to keep it interesting for people that aren't into like map making. Which I guess just doing this on my YouTube channel, which is exclusively gaming stuff, is probably a bad idea, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, no sass rival. Yeah, sure, buddy. Okay. That kind of breaks up the northern peninsula a little bit, but I don't know what else I'm going to do. Yeah, you know, Andronus, I want to do more of those hobby videos. I want to do more where I'm like sitting and talking about things. Actually, like, funny enough, and I know Rival's just going to switch off when I start talking about this, but I just got I just learned about the new like 40k 9th edition starter sets, and it's like I'm low key kind of pissed off at them, and I'm kind of glad that I got the new Indominus box when I did, because of just how like bad value they seem to be. So I mean, I want to make a video about that, but then I just kind of it's a lot of effort to get those, because I don't really have a nice space to record like video from my camcorder. So I'm kind of just, I'm always like thinking like, oh, I should do that, and then at a certain point I just think like, oh, maybe not. Maybe I'll let the professionals who have actual lighting do that. And like a good microphone on their camera. That, and it'd be like the second hobby video I would do would just be a rant about a hobby thing that pissed me off, because the last one I did was all about the Battlefront miniatures like discontinuing their Flames of War or their Colors of War paint line, when I had invested in that paint line, and that pissed me off so much. Well, Red, see, there's a process here. Like, this is where I'll talk about like process for map making. You can't really, you have to put in you have to do things in a set order, because it kind of breaks down if you don't. So, like, okay, good example. Like, here I'm basically done with the contours. I could start putting rivers in here, because I know where the contours are. When I know where all the contours are, that's when you can place the rivers, because rivers follow kind of certain rules to how you place them and how they flow. So you can tell like a bad map. Like, and I say bad in an objective sense, not like artistically. Just in terms, like, if you, how am I trying to say this? The human brain recognizes things that the conscious part of it might not understand why they recognize things. They can understand a brain, and the average person understands that a river doesn't really work, but they might not understand the process of why it kind of is weird. So, like, you know, rivers will flow down contour. They will flow down elevation. They'll try and go the most direct route to the sea. They won't go up elevation ever. They won't split most of the time. They will merge, but they won't split. Multiple rivers can go into a lake, but only one outlet can exist. Like, there are a lot of rules to placing rivers, like, on a map. Like, it's kind of like cartography rules, and it's really hard if you don't know where your elevations all are. So I need to work out where I want elevations in this area before I can place anything else. Because that'll also dictate where roads, borders, cities, and everything go. So, like, a good example would be, like here, like this little, like, horseshoe, like, elevation here, which is kind of modeled after, like, Hungary and, like, Romania area, in Europe. Like, a nation could exist in here because they have natural land borders that would allow them to exist easily. And, you know, there'd probably be, like, a nation kind of here, one in, like, this area because they have a choke point with a little elevation change, because elevation is a good defensible area. So, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. Like, yeah, breaking up the landmass would work, but I need to make sure that I have everything placed before I start putting rivers in. And there's probably also not going to be a huge amount of rivers on this land, like this big empty part of the landmass, because rivers kind of need a source. And although it's not a rule, because obviously you have the Nile, which kind of goes fairly flat, in all honesty. Like, it starts in a highlands area towards the southern part of, like, you know, I guess what would be, is that Lower Egypt? Or is it Upper Egypt? I forget what if it's reversed for Egypt, but either way. But it goes fairly flat. So, I mean, you could have a river in here, but I don't know yet, because I don't know if there's going to be any land, if there's going to be any elevation changes in the central or, like, one of the coastal parts. So I'm kind of working through it right now. So, that's what we're kind of doing. I didn't mean to go into a whole rant about that. Suggest a way for things. I'm not going to discount suggestions or anybody's help if they want to provide it. I'm just trying to kind of figure this out. So I mean, this is okay. It's like northern bit. The thing I need to work out now is if there's going to be any other major chains or anything like that. Because, again, I want this to kind of be an analogous to Russia in Europe. So we're kind of working out. And for reference, by the way, because I did do this in the intervening part of the week. So we have, I've got latitude and longitudinal lines, which I'm not sure if those show up at all because of how transparent I've got them. I'll put them a little bit deeper. So I got latitude and longitude, basically the same as we have on Earth. And I also went ahead and we got this. So you can see kind of overlaid the Earth. So I think we're looking to see, that's what you can kind of get, like, the scale of this. So when I say, like, this landmass down here is analogous to Europe, that's because it's actually fairly similar in size to Europe. And this is, like, kind of like an America. It's, you know, it's got that. So I think it's a little bit less land than our Earth, but not by much. I think it's fairly good, which is, I think, good because I was trying to go for an earthy kind of world. So I think I was able to get the ratio correct here. I know that's kind of maybe a bit hard to see on the stream, but yeah, that's what we're working with. So let's get back to it and stop putting it off. All right, Red. Well, I'm glad I can teach a little bit without being super annoying or condescending. I've been told in the past I can be very condescending when I try and teach people things, and I've tried since then. I've tried to be better. I don't know if I succeeded, but I've tried. All right. Let's just keep going here. And again, I want to thank everybody for joining me during this stream. Fairly decent amount of views and viewers. Even with my potato internet. And the fact that this is very much not my normal kind of content for this channel, so the fact that I get any viewers on this is pretty surprising, to be honest. Okay, we're gonna have like, yeah, so those are like low rises here. I think that works. Okay, Red. I don't need the sass. I already got it from Rival. I don't need double sass coming from your household. It works, okay? Don't go dissing the potato, alright? Because if we know anything from the movie The Martian or the book The Martian, is that the potato is the savior of life if you're on Mars. I don't know where that, like, reference came from, but fuck it. I'd like to think so too, Andronus, but I know that's not necessarily the case. Like, I know there's a lot of people that just watch me for, like, various things. I know there's a decent amount of my viewership that are just chomping at the bit for another Battlestar Galactica playthrough. Or one of the other various games I've played. So I hope people enjoy hobbies, enjoy my stuff, because I don't know. That'd be the dream. But I'll basically make videos on anything that I find interesting, because that's why I made the channel, and that's why I do what I do. I don't play things that are popular, I play things that I enjoy. So if I wanted to play things that were popular, I would have had, I don't know, 30 series of Hearts of Iron on my channel already. And, you know, died inside years ago. But didn't do that. Okay, we're going to make this like a little plateau area here. Decently sized one. To be fair, Andronus, well, basically anybody listening, I have gone ahead and, like, I have actually been playing some Hearts of Iron, like, in my off time. Just as something to play. But it hasn't been, like, the base game. I've been playing, like, mods. What was it specifically? I played like the Millennium Dawn one because I wanted to try it out, because it had been years since, like, I basically played it when Hearts of Iron was still like 6 months old or whatever. And yeah, no, it's there. It's about as unfinished as it was back then. So, you know, that's not necessarily a surprise, but kind of disappointing. I decided to play as, in that little game that I had going, I wanted to play as Iran. No tech tree, or no focus tree, and fairly broken mechanics, so. What was the other one I wanted to play? It was Kurdistan, and it didn't, and that was, like, impossible, so yeah. That, and I also, what was it? What else did I play? I think it was the World War I mod Redux. I tried playing, and then I got really bored, because Hearts of Iron just kills me. It's fun for a little bit, and then I'm done. And I also felt like I needed to play it recently, because I realized that they gave me the code for La Resistance, and I had never played it up until a couple of weeks ago. Don't tell Paradox that, because I still want them to give me codes. You know, I did too, Andronus, but I felt the same. That's the thing, though. The mechanics of Hearts of Iron are just at this point, I'm just kind of done with it as a game, and I want something more. I have actually, like, if we're talking about like games and stuff like that, I haven't got a code or anything, and I haven't really reached out because I keep forgetting to. But there's a new game. What is it? ICBM. I kind of want to get that. I want to get that, and I want to do like a multiplayer of that with somebody. I don't know who I'd get, but it looks fun. You know, for like a little mini series or something like that. It doesn't look like that would last long, like as a rule, but it looks fun. I mean, like a nice little party game, I think. All right, let's put some like. Yeah, well, I don't even have the game, so I don't know. I know it's not even out yet, but it would be fun. I'd like to give it a shot at one point if I ever got it. I still want to do that unannounced series, that unannounced board game series, but nobody's like posting in the damn Discord chat when they're available. God damn it! So it's hard to get it going. Because that'd be fun. I can't really go into detail about that because I don't know if it's actually going to happen. For everybody listening that doesn't know what I'm talking about. All right. And what I'm doing right here, guys, if you're confused about like if there's a process for me placing these little like squiggles, like in my head canon for this continent, it's two separate tectonic plates that are coming against each other to create these large mountain ranges. So I'm thinking this plate's going this way, going from east to west, and this plate down here is going from south to north, and that's where they're colliding. And so what you kind of have to realize is that, like, basically, like, not only do mountains come about from plates coming against each other, they also come out from, like, volcanic activity over periods of time. That's, like, how Hawaii exists. Like, and that's what the idea behind this island chain is that as time has gone on, these islands sprout up from an active volcano, and so like at one point in the past, like it was a much faster plate before it probably hit somewhere over here, so these were a lot smaller, but as it slowed down it created a larger and larger mountain, which came over and came out of the water. So I'm thinking this area, there's a couple of like chains of like low hills, like kind of like undulations from like below ground, like lava flows and stuff, kind of pushing up the ground around it as volcanic activity exists in here, kind of like a Yellowstone. Yeah, Red. Yeah, like Ring of Fire Islands. Yeah, those Hawaii is a good example, because if you don't know, like the Hawaiian island chain, actually, I forget where it actually ends, but it ends a lot further away than you would initially. It ends a lot further than the Hawaiian Islands proper. Like the chain itself goes on for a while. I don't remember. I think Midway might actually be a part of that family of islands. Spawned from the same process that spawned all of the islands in the Hawaiian chain. And it keeps getting bigger. Yes, it does. And geologically, that kind of thing can kind of happen on land, not to the same extent, because there's different processes, but like elevation changes can occur because of volcanic activity underground, even if it's not active lava flows. So basically what we're creating here is like little hilly plateaus and stuff that have kind of been created by this process as this plate has moved across the moved from east to west. So that's kind of the thing. That, and it also helps break up things, and we can put like a couple of little higher bits on these like little ridges, and that can create areas for river source that can create some rivers outward from the central part, give us some nice long looking rivers. So that's what we're doing here. Bet y'all didn't know how involved making a map was. Alright. Maybe just a little bit more here, so it doesn't just abruptly end. Get like a long one there. Maybe one going near the coast. Exactly. And that can also come about from different processes. Basically, there's a shitload of different processes to like making land that like you can use. I know people that go really scientific with their maps, but dude, fuck that. I'm not putting that much effort into it. Actually, I see something here that could look kind of cool. We're gonna give this a shot. So maybe. Hello. I'm gonna give it a shot here, Belial. I'm gonna say Belial until you correct me. I am world building for a book. I am in the process of getting stuff together to write. And this is a fantasy world, kind of set in a post industrial like interwar / World War I time period. So that's what we're working on right now. Bailey, okay. I don't know what you expect, guys. If you come here, don't expect me to say it correctly. Bailey, okay. Thank you for giving me the pronunciation breakdown of there. That's kind of what I need. Thank you, Thank you, Andronus. I'm glad somebody likes it. I've had people in comment section get really pissed at me, so I'm kind of at this point like I'm kind of gun shy half the time. When I see something, I'm just like, I don't fucking know. Bailey, yeah, it's I'm working on this is for a book that I'm gonna I've actually started writing. I'm just working on I'm just starting to work on right now, but I want to get some more like world building done for it, so I can kind of expand it outward. I've got basically the plot elements down and some of the general world building, but I want to expand it, and I needed some spatial reference, so I decided to make the map so I know it. And the program is I'm using Clip Studio Paint, which is a it's like a drawing program. I think it's made for like manga artists and stuff. So, you know, there's that. I mean, I can't draw to save my life. Like, I am horrible at artwork and just art in general. So, the fact that I can do mapping is surprising, to me. This is also, I think, only the second or third map I've ever done that's like fully hand-drawn instead of using secondary programs for a lot of stuff. So yeah, there's that. What do you guys think? You think those little like chain of hills and stuff look all right in the center, or are they look out of place? I'm on the fence. And they definitely break up that like big central location. Oh, it doesn't matter if it's got Scott Gaelic, or it doesn't matter if it's anything, Bailey. I'm just horrible at pronunciations of things. It is known. It is just known. Oh. Oh, that's cool, Bailey. See, I don't like staring at maps. I just like working on them. In all honesty, like I like building worlds. That's a big hobby of mine. Now I'm at the... See, now we're at the other process. I've just done something to the map, so now I've got to figure out kind of where I want to put something else in this, like, big open space here. And, like, how it might look. That is the plan, Bailey. Actually, like this, if you're referring to this area here, like this area, I'm not sure you can see that because my my cursor is very small. Is kind of analogous. Is this world's like analogous area to Europe? So, and that's also where like the main character in the book and the main setting is going to take place. So yeah, that's kind of the idea. Is that there'd be like a quasi-Europe having started around here. And this whole continent is a quasi-Eurasia, in a way. But we're not at the cities yet. We're still working on the... elevation and contour lines for the map. So I'm at the process now where we're working on this like upper part of this continent, and I'm trying to fill it out with all of its elevations. And as I said in the beginning of the stream, at some point it becomes more of a it becomes less about like the art, or less about like the science of like how it would formulate, and more about some art as well, because you're trying to make it look good as well. Or use well as well a lot in that sentence. You're trying to make it look good, and you're also trying to make sure that the natural human tendency for regularity doesn't prop up. Because if you don't know, an individual who like basically, if you're making a map, you have to be really careful about not making things too regular, or trying to make things too irregular to the point that they're regular. It's like, that doesn't sound very straightforward, but basically, as like, humans are very bad about randomization. We just naturally are. We naturally try and form things in an order. And so that makes it very difficult to make coastlines look good, to make sure like mountain ranges and hilly areas and stuff look natural, because we have a tendency to make, if you're not actively keeping an eye out for it, you'll have a tendency to make things too uniform, and it'll just look bad. So right now I'm trying to figure out, is the reason I want to put more in here because I think it looks a little bit too barren and I want to have it just a little bit more filled out? Or is it my natural is it my monkey brain trying to make things more uniform? Is where I'm at right now. Yeah, Andreas, yours isn't too bad. Actually, the funny thing... Actually, hold on. Can I find this? Hold on. This'll make you feel better about your map. If I can find it. Because I have been making maps since I've been DMing games. So it's more than a decade at this point. And the funny thing is it here? Do I have it? Yes. Here we go. Is it opening? Yeah. Here you go. I actually used that same program to make a map back in the day. To make maps back in the day. This is a map for my old Aces and Eights campaign that I played way back in the day. So yeah, don't feel bad about your map. And this is also, again, this is like 5 years after I started doing maps and stuff. So, like, it looks a little bit better than what yours is, but don't feel bad about the program or it not looking as good as, like, the stuff I do. That just comes from practice, in all honesty. So I've used that same program. Don't feel bad about that. And actually, in all honesty, for a hex map, I kind of like the way this turned out. I'm glad I save all my stuff. Where would the water come from there? Or is it a desert? I'm thinking this is more of a... this is like a grassland, like a Great Plains kind of area. Because you wouldn't necessarily get a desert because there's no rain shadow that would really come from here. And it's surrounded on 3 sides fairly equally by water and ocean. So that would drive ocean currents... Or that would, so the ocean would drive wind and moisture from wherever the wind would be coming from, and it wouldn't have too far to go, so it wouldn't dry out quickly, which is what you kind of get when you get to I'm trying to think of. Bailey, you can still do pretty decent maps in Call of Cthulhu. I was actually in the middle of, at one point, doing a map for Midge, because he ran a Call of Cthulhu game, and I have a fairly decent map style that I was working with. Do I even have it? Where's my St. Catherine map at? Here we go. Or St. Craythorne. So this is not finished, obviously, but I was working on this, and it was for Midge's setting that he had going for his Call of Cthulhu campaign, and I never finished it because it was I think his campaign went on hiatus at one point, and then I had other things that were going on, but I was in the middle of actually doing this. I think it would look pretty good. You can do fairly decent maps even in the Call of Cthulhu setting. Hexagrapher, that's what it's called. Thank you, Andronus. South African Highveld? Are you using that is that like a region you're referencing for like the weather pattern? I'm not familiar with it, so I'm not sure if that's correct or not. Yeah, I hear his Cthulhu game was good. I know Rival was in it. I don't know what happened to Rival's character or anything, but I know they played through their game of it, which was pretty cool. For like a mini campaign. Okay. You know what? We're gonna come back to this. I'm gonna do some stuff on this little side island chain here. Just so I can kind of clear my head and work on something else. Oh, okay. I never actually watched it too much. That's mostly because I'm not a huge fan of the Call of Cthulhu setting, just in general. But I recognize a good game when I see it, and I wanted to help Midge out with a good map, because that's most of what I can contribute. Oh, okay. Not as applicable, Bailey. Not as applicable for this region, this big lowland region here. More for here though. You could definitely say that would be equivalent. Because it is a bit of a plateau. It's not as high though, because although I don't have a scale on here, I think these are 500-foot increments that go up, or near enough. I'm not sure. It's probably something I should have actually worked out before I started drawing it. Fuck it. This isn't a scientifically accurate map. Magic exists in this world, so, you know, whatever. The gods could have done it. Or, you know, magicians, or whatever we're going to call the magic users in the world when I work out that world-building part. I think I'm just going to go with mages, actually, because I think that's fairly generic. I'm not sure if I want these to be low-lying islands or with like a fairly decent highland area. Because I want these islands to be like an analogous to Japan kind of area. Because I like the idea of them having like a lot of imperial lands on these coastlines. I don't know if that's how it's going to work out when I actually get to that point, but it's something I want to do. I'm just pointing it out because I have all the analytics like right next to my screen right now. But we've had a fairly consistent 6 viewers this whole time, which is pretty good given the fact this is only my second stream. Not really, Andronus. I think you might be thinking of Utari Onzo, and that might just be because he's really getting into. He really got into it so that he for research for his character in Sleeping Giants. Like I've done some research so I could fill out the Etesian steppe in my Sleeping Giants setting. But I don't know a huge amount about it. It's one of those areas I would like to learn a bit more about it. I find them interesting. I find them interesting, like their modern culture, like the like a Mongolian modern culture. I like the mixture of tradition with modern technology, because I find that's very rare in a lot of like more what's the PC term for it? More native cultures, I guess. I don't know. Traditional cultures, probably be traditional. So that's like, you know, that I'm gonna stop talking. I think I'm gonna stop talking. Yeah, I know Japan's got big mountains, Red, but I'm not sure if I want it to be like really on the nose, because things can be analogous to other things without being like super similar. So I don't know how on the nose I want it to be. Is kind of at this point. I think I'll add another elevation layer to these hills here. I might put a third one on there so it's got a 3 elevation. So that looks kind of tall. Oh well, that's good to hear, Andronus. I'm glad. I don't know why. I'm not that interesting. Catch that. That could be cool. As a culture group. Actually, that was, if I remember correctly, in Warhammer 40k, orcs were the original orc like idea was kind of a Mongolian / steppe kind of people idea. Like that was the original. Obviously, that was kind of traded out when 3rd edition or something. One of the editions, like Gorka Morka came out. I think it was. But yeah, so orcs in like a kind of steppe people vibe is not out of the ordinary. You can never make his. He's live streaming right now, Andrews. I mean, I'm not going to tell you to go, go over there. I mean, I'm glad you're here, but it's not like it's not like he's not streaming right now. Alright, let's add that other elevation layer here. Okay. Guess I've got to go ahead and manually do that. Now you see, if I was like super into like hyper detail for these maps, I could use I could instead use a vector-based drawing program, so that I have infinite detail and infinite zoom on here. But I can't be asked to relearn how to do this in a vector-based program, even though I have access to one and it is installed on this computer. It's just so much effort to learn new programs. Oop, that was the wrong layer. Ooh, I think I realize. Well, no, see, Red, you have to, like, infinite detail in a sense is that, okay, from, because if you guys don't realize, and because I know the resolution's kind of bad for the stream, this is 8,000 pixels by 4,000 pixels. This is more than 4K. This is 8K? No, I don't know the actual word for this. This isn't a standard screen resolution. This is a 2:1 aspect ratio, which is fine for a world map. But the thing is if you were doing this as in a vector-based program, what you do is you do as much detail as possible for everything as you go, and then you'd be able to chop out squares to do like regional atlas maps. And that's where you'd put all the detail in. But the first thing you would do is you draw all of the coastlines in as much detail as you could, and all of the elevations and stuff. And it would take you a long time, but that would mean you'd have kind of a universal map. Basically, the trade-off is, right now, I could... and I was going to double check. Did I make that all in one layer? I did. Okay. I'm an idiot. The trade-off is that you can... is that I can make this map quickly here... in this program, without too much trouble. But if I want to make a more detailed map in the future, of like a specific region, I will basically have to redraw the area so that I have more detail in the so like if I wanted to make this an atlas for like these islands here, whatever I choose to call them, they will... I'll have to redraw it. I won't be able to use this map to then make it off of. So I'll have to basically like get here or something like that, then cut this view, export it as itself, import it as a background image to trace the general shape of the coastlines while adding more detail to it on a further hyper, like a similar like sized canvas. So, yeah, it's a trade-off. Basically, I'm trading off the initial, for the vector-based map. I'd spend a whole hell of a lot of time doing the initial map, but I wouldn't have to redraw it if I wanted to make an atlas of a smaller region. Whereas with this one, I'm getting it out quickly. But if I want to draw, or if I want an atlas for a smaller region, I will have to basically redraw that area. So it's a trade-off. I think this is better for me, though, because I work faster like this, and I don't necessarily need all of the area of the, I probably won't be making an atlas of smaller islands and stuff like that. Like, that's not going to be a thing I commonly do, so I don't expect it to be a big deal for me. So it's two mindsets when it comes to mapping. You guys learning just everything, aren't you, today? Yeah, it would be an intense map. It would be a very intense map. Okay. I think these islands are good. I think they look good enough as they are. I mean, it's a very small part of the map, but I expect this to be a fairly important like region. So I want to put a little bit more effort in here. I think these look nice for what they are. They got some a few little highlands areas and like a nice little couple of lowlands regions for like farming and various things like that. So that looks good. And now we're back to this big fuck off empty space that I've got to fill out with either nothing or detail. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add a couple of higher contour lines to these hilly ridges. Just some tiny ones. Okay. For a second, I thought my music had stopped, but it just got to a really, like, a really quiet part. You know, I gotta say, like, although normally when I'm working, I'm listening to like actual music. Like I've got playlists on YouTube that I listen to for various things. I get most of my work done when I'm actually listening to like game soundtracks. I wouldn't necessarily call them rules, Andronus. They're more like... I almost just verbatim, unknowingly quoted the Pirates of the Caribbean line. They're more guidelines than anything. That was not intentional. I just did that naturally. God damn it. But they are. They're like, there's no, like, there are some hard and fast rules. But I wouldn't say there's anything that's like like a hard no on. The only thing I think anybody would really give you a hard no on would be the rivers, because rivers are super touchy in the cartography community. Because if you fuck up a river, you're never gonna live it down. On a map. People will notice that immediately because that's one of the hardest things to do, and it's one of the parts that people pay the most attention to. Because it's one of those things that draws the eye. A river is a very big part of a map and a very big part of the culture that kind of arrives from an area if you're doing world building. So making sure that it kind of works naturally, kind of, you know, unless there's like a magical reason for it to exist. So again, it's not a hard and fast, I mean, it's not like a super like hard cutoff rule, so I don't know. It's just things you kind of pick up through like osmosis, being a part of a community. And I wouldn't necessarily even say I'm a part of a community, because I mean there are some cartographers that can draw some really fucking good maps, and I'm nowhere near that. And there are world builders that are leagues better than me, that are like a whole other level. Actually, in fact, like there's a YouTube series that I watch, and it's like, I don't know what to say. There's this guy on YouTube that is making a multi-part series where he started, he built a world, and now he's going millions of years in every video, going through the evolutionary process of creatures that live in his world. And he's at the point, like, he started with like simple like Cambrian explosion era creatures, and he's at the point now where like the equivalent of that world's like whales have started gone back into the ocean and stuff like that, and it's like super heavily researched and like scientifically accurate, and it's a beautiful series. I don't even remember the name of the guy. I'm subscribed to him on YouTube, and it's like 6 months, it's like 2 months for every episode, but it's so worth it. If you're into like world building, it's a beautiful series to watch. I mean, the creatures are eldritch horrors in my nightmares, but it's a great series to watch. Given the fact that I think he's got like a whale that's basically a squid-faced thing, and it's just it's amazing. I love it. Yeah, it's you know what? Fuck it. Let me find it here. Let me look it up. And the other cool thing is that he's got such a is that he's actually using like the Latin names of all of his for all of his creatures, so it's very, so all the creatures like sound very plausible. Let's see here. I'm not sure how to pronounce the name of his channel. Huh. Biblia? What the hell? Biblirodon? Fuck it. I don't know. Basically, if you look it up, the series name is Alien Biospheres. And it's just a long running, I think he's on episode 8 or 9 or something like that. And it's really good. Yeah, I'll put it in my Discord. I'll link it in my Discord. It's a good idea, Red. Very good idea. There we go. I put it in the Discord, so you guys got that now. Maybe don't watch it right now. Yes, that is correct, Andronus. Not sure how that's pronounced. Not even going to give it a shot. Oh, fuck it up. That'll be a guarantee. But yeah, his series is really good. And he's recently started getting like fan art that he's put in of the creatures, like putting like into the video, and it's beautiful. I love it so much. It's like watching, I don't know. It's like world building at its peak. The guy's the guy's so good. I wish I could do that. I wish I had the patience and the ability, because that's like, I don't know, that it's so good. It's so good. I'm hyping it up a lot, and it's probably not as good for other people, but just putting it out there. Oh, Red, or don't show Rival that video, or don't show him any of the videos there, because all of the creatures are like hexapod or octopods. So they all have multiple legs, and towards the end, or towards like the more recent videos, they're not actually insects, because that's an actual like definition of a type of a type of creature on Earth. So they're not that, but they all have multiple legs and like grasping appendages, and on their like mouths and stuff like that. I mean, it's just super interesting scientifically and world building wise to watch it, but it's like I don't want you to get like super into it and then see one of these fucking things. Especially when like one of the creatures I remember is like a is an apex predator with 8 legs and is like 3 meters tall. That's the wrong one. All right, let's kind of fill out a little bit more of this. Let's make this a bit of a bigger plateau. Also, the guy he has featured in the first video, Artifexian, is an amazing world builder and conlang channel, which is, if you don't know, constructed language. Great content. Love those guys. Like them a lot. In fact, Artifexian has an entire series on making a world atlas in which he details that process using a vector-based mapping program for like a world and like how that would work. And it's super detailed and it's like really scientifically accurate, or at least trying to be. So, you know, things about like projection scaling and like how that affects like, you know, what latitude your map's going to be on, like what kind of like projection you want to use, all that kind of stuff. You know, all the stuff that I don't care about. But it's super interesting. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, take a look at it. Artifexian's a great channel as well. Also, it's a very good video about like flags and how to like do those. Yeah, I mean that's kind of just world building. Like that's kind of what it is. I mean that's more like D&D, like world building and that stuff. When they say world building, like they're building a world from the ground up. Like Artifexian's like Artifexian and the guy that's doing the alien biosphere stuff have had like video series about making their own languages, like from scratch, like making their own languages. So like words and pronunciations and all that kind of stuff. It's super interesting. Like I can barely speak English, so you know nothing I could ever do, but still. All right, what do you guys think? You think this is a bit too open, or what do you think for this the northern part of the southern continent? Been working on it for about a half hour now. Not counting all of the side tangents of trying to find YouTube links. Actually, in fact, while I wait for all of your guys' responses, if there are going to be a whole bunch of responses about this, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of a bio break for like a few minutes here. So tell me what you think, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let me get situated again here. There we go. Okay. How do you imagine the culture around those lands? Ow, 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 no, Duke, ow. There's no room. Get down. Okay. Sorry, I keep hitting the microphone. I know that's annoying to some people. Well, Andronus, as I said, the world's going to be a fantasy world. With with all the various fantasy races, that are pretty standard to this kind of setting. But it's like a post-industrial revolution, late 1910s, early 1920s kind of thing. And I want this area to be kind of similar to like a large like Russia kind of nation, kind of just like a big open nothing that exists. Maybe not as cold, but in terms of like world building, if I was going to like actually go as deep into whether or not into like the weather, this continent would definitely have some like weird weather formations. It's got, the central like sea, the central ocean here that is going to be hot because the equator's not too far away from there. So that, it's hot air coming down. There's going to be a lot of cold air coming down, so it's just like right in the center here. So there's, they wouldn't necessarily have like bad winters, but it'd probably have a lot of like bad rains and a lot of mud. So there is a word for the mud season in Russia, but I've completely forgot. I completely forgot what it's called, but it exists. I know there's a name for like the mud season in Russia, and it's some like weird name that I'd never be able to pronounce off the top of my head. Not that I can pronounce much anyways. So what are you gonna do? But Red said leave it, and I'm thinking the same. The only thing I might do is fill out this little like peninsular formation here, and then that would be it. So that's what we're gonna do. I think I'm gonna fill this out just a little bit more, just so it's a little bit less flat. Got that, a little bit of formation there. Just break that up a bit. Maybe not like not like magic. I want the magic in this setting to be somewhat grounded, so I'm not thinking this. I don't think like the standard D&D magic system. I've got my own magic system in my head that I want to use. I've still got to work out like really specific details, but I got a pretty broad sense. I could, Andronus. I could have some of that, but normally what you have in maps like this that use this kind of color scheme is there is a singular bluish-green color that's that indicates like a below sea level elevation, and it's very rare that that's even indicated on a map of this scale. Because again, this is a world scale map, so like for reference, this is. This is Earth overlaid on this map, so, for reference in terms of scaling. So you wouldn't necessarily be able to see, like, the Grand Canyon even on a map with this styling at this scale. So, we're kind of keeping that going. You gotta know when to put it in and when not to put it in terms of map scales and information, so you don't clutter everything. Okay, we're leaving the southern continent now. I think we're good. I think we're good in that sense. We might fix up the European area a little bit more. But now we go to the completely untouched void that is this northern continent. Oh, God. So now I need to figure out how I'm going to work out this area. I'm thinking, guys. I'm thinking. Trying to look at it from different scalings so we kind of have something to work with here. Okay, let's try... Let's make sure we're on the right one. Yeah, we're on 9. Okay. Okay, it's a bit too much. I can't even see that. All right. Some really lowland, like, highlands. Some rises, some low rises. Kind of across here, but don't keep it too regular. So it looks like it's kind of a part of a chain. Goes through there. So we got that. Wow, it is already noon, guys. Jesus. Time flies when you're having fun. I did not expect that already. My god. Okay. So a couple of rises there. Let me know if you need any clarifications on what I'm doing or anything like that. It seems talking while I work is helping me pass the time and maintain my concentration on the actual work, so I am totally fine with answering questions. Alright. So got that. This is gonna be hell up here. Let's do it now then. Let's just get it over with. So, okay. Fjords by nature are sheer, so they're going to be they might not necessarily be fairly tall, but there's going to be a fairly sheer drop off. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of layer 10 showing through, so we need a lot of layer 9 up here. So maybe this is like a highlands region with a valley going through here. Actually, that could work. Okay, so we'll make the north like a highlands region. Like a very long, flat highlands region. That might work. So let's get started with that. Now, it's funny how much you can get used to different ways of working, because up to not too long ago, I had never used a drawing tablet for anything. And now it feels fairly natural. I didn't expect that. But then again, the only other experience I had with the drawing tablet was like a super small little portable drawing tablet that I think had a workspace of 5 by 3 inches. So it was like a little postcard, like index card sized drawing space. And that was difficult to work with. So I guess I kind of like shot myself in the foot there. All right. Can you make that like a little valley that goes through there? Okay. Got that. A little low spot right there. Connect that up. Any talks or plans for a new multiplayer? Not too much. There's a board game that I would love to play with some other people for a series. Like it would take a long time to play it through because of how detailed it is, and it's like a legacy type game, type board game. So like Pandemic Legacy, but not that game. I have people lined up for it. We got a roster together, but it's just hard to get everybody together and work out times. So we're kind of in hiatus about that. Not hiatus, but we're kind of in limbo about it. I wouldn't be able to stream it, but I'd want to record it, and I think everybody else would stream it because having everybody's perspective on it would be useful. Because there'd be a lot of secret backroom deals and stuff like that. That's kind of the only big thing that I think I've got like in the back burner right now. Okay, let's fill these in to make sure they look all right. Not bad. Alright, let's keep going here. I'd give you more information on the series, but I don't want to, or the game, but I don't want to spoil it if it does go through. So, it's kind of just up in the air right now. I can't say it would be played on Tabletop Simulator if we were to play it. All right, Red, you have yourself a good day. Thank you for joining me for my horrible quality stream. Oh, and there was also another thing that is like now it's like definitely on the back burner because I'm not sure about people's schedules right now, and we'd have to spend a lot of time learning stuff. But I know Rival was up for it. Was running a campaign with General Quarters 3, and we were going to run Operation Udenbong. I think is how you pronounce it, Udenbong. The Bismarck's last last operation, or I guess first operation, in the North Atlantic, in like a tabletop rule set on Tabletop Simulator, with one side playing as the Bismarck and the other one playing as the Royal Navy. But not much has gone into that. It's kind of like just a plan. Yeah, Andronus, I have a copy of it actually on my hard drive right now. Actually, Andronus, this is probably going to blow your mind. If you go ahead and look back at MacClick's backlog, There is a video. Actually, there is a, I think it's a two-parter. I was a player in one of his games. Way back in the day. Yeah, I was a player in one of Matt Click's like community games back when he was first started. I played a half-elven rogue. It was a Pathfinder game. I was pretty young at that point. It's a long time ago. Long time ago. I was still in high school back when that happened. Because he used to run game, like he had like a little thing where you like put in an application, and I won, and I got into one of the games. I forget what it was actually, but because he used to be called a fistful of dice. Now I need to look it up. Yeah, it used to be called a fistful of dice. Yeah, there we go. And it was a long time ago. Like a long time ago. If I look it up, because it was an actual play. It was a multi-part game with a whole bunch of different people taking part in like smaller, like it was a campaign with sub-campaigns with different groups. Was it called the Sundered Throne? I think it was. I haven't watched him in a long time. I'm still subscribed to him. Yeah, no, it's Sundered Throne, session 1 and 2. That was way back in the day. That was years ago. That was 7 years ago that I was in that. And I played in that campaign. So, yeah. I was a half-elven rogue in Pathfinder who could throw and took the feat throw anything, and I specialized in like I think my character I just instead of like getting a whole shitload of magical items or anything like that, because we had like it was a pre-made, like we got like level 4 or 5 characters or something like that. I picked up a whole bunch of like wrist sheaths with like throwing knives and bandoliers of alchemist fire and acid flasks, and that was what I did in combat. Was I threw things at people, and I threw these these alchemist fire and acid flasks at people. Oh, that was so cringy. That was back when I had long hair, and yeah, 7 years ago. I was a little Roach back then. Small world, right? I mean, 7 years ago on YouTube, it was a small world already anyways, so. So yeah, there you go. Now you got something to go and watch. More content. I'm surprised that thing's still on the air. Okay, so we got the north there. Let's go ahead and let's fill it out so it looks a bit more natural. So it's got... It's like a natural highland region. It reaches down here and there. Yeah, it looked good when I mean, I've got a copy of the book of Macaque. It looked good. I've never played it though. It's always one of those things that it's never come up since it came out. I've been playing just D&D and stuff with people, so it's one of those game systems that I never got a chance to really stretch. And there's a lot of other game systems that I'd like to try before I tried Macaque, so, you know. It is what it is. Okay. I actually wish I kept up to, like, I kept in contact with him, because he's actually done really well for himself since back in those days. He's actually written like supplement. Didn't he write for? I think he wrote for like Wizards of the Coast. I think he did a supplement or something. My dream. See, one of my friends actually has just gotten into a new not a new D&D, a new role-playing game system that is also like mecha based. Called, what is it called? It's I've got a copy of the book on my computer. I think it's called Lancer. Lancer, and that looks pretty cool as well. Another one that I'd like to give it a shot one day. But what are you gonna do? There's only so much time in the day. Same for me, so recommend. The only way I find a group was just telling people I was running it. I wanted it the first day. See, I've got a group of people that I play with regular, so it's not like, it's just that we don't have enough time to play other games, you know, and hell, I've barely got time to prepare for Sleeping Giants with how much effort I put into the writing material for that. But I will say one thing. I like the art style for Lancer better than I like Macaque or Mechahack. I like if you look up Lancer, it's got a really like cohesive art style that I like a lot. Yeah, DM problems. Yeah, you looked it up. Yeah. I also like how the basic rulebook's free. They only charge you for like the full rulebook, which has like the DMs section, which isn't that bad. I like that system. Let's get more people into it. Okay. Sorry, I got quiet. I'm just kind of concentrating a bit on this. Trying to get it to look nice. I would really love to get the height contours done today. Alright. Maybe make a central spine of taller elevations here and have this kind of extend downward a bit. So it kind of works. So let's do the base layer first. Let's get this. Did not mean to do that. Get this going around here. Almost reached that. Okay, now let's get this going. All right, thanks for coming in and watching, Andronus. It's been a pleasure. Let's take that down a bit. Like a mini mountain range here. Nothing too big, but just enough. Okay, let's go to layer 7, 10, 7. Let's get that going. I'm gonna fill this out a little bit. Okay. That together there. Okay, that kind of looks all right. I think we need to make the southern part of that little highlands region a little bit less uniform. Okay. God, it has already been 2 hours. Wow. Or just about. Okay. Let's go in here. Up one. Oh, just like a thin little ridge there. Okay. So I got that. Now I need to kind of pull back a little bit and look at this, make sure it's looking okay. I like this valley idea, but I think this is a little bit too open. So let's readjust that. Let's kind of close it up just a little bit more, make it a little bit less uniform. So like... kind of like this. That looks okay. I closed it up a little bit. I got a message on my phone. What is this? Swear to God, is it another... Don't know. I got way too many notifications on my phone. Alright. Just make just like a little rise on this coast. A little bit of a rise here centrally. Looks pretty good. Then fills that out a little bit. This is gonna be a problem. I think I got an idea for down here. It's just draw a bit here. Make it fairly thin. Okay. So we got that. Anyone else in chat, by the way? It's been quiet since Andronus left. Anybody else enjoying the stream? And if you are, also, how's your day been? Always like to interact with the viewers. And by always, I mean the 2 times that I have done this, including this one. Okay. Let's bring you over here. Let's pull layer 8. Let's go ahead and let's make this like a... Make this an actual range. Alright. Basically, my idea is that this island nation will have kind of colonized some of this coastal region. So I want this area to be like part of their region, but I want to also have a reason that they didn't extend all the way out. So having a mountain range that kind of blocks them in makes sense, and it also creates a geological or a problem climate-wise, because this kind of a mountain range, if I make it when I finish it, will also most likely create a rain shadow, at least partly. So creating an more arid region along this space. I mean, we'll see. I mean, that is a pretty big thing. It could work. Could work. Either way, it gives me something to kind of work with, to kind of put here. So, let's see. Alright. Kind of passes, plenty of passes, but not a lot of like open area. Okay. ahead. Couple of mountains. Well, I guess these are already mountain. Well, these are more like hills right now, but once we put this line in, be a bit more like mountains in terms of their elevation. Okay. All right. Okay, that looks good. Let's go back to layer 9. Make some elevation changes along here. Oh, lyrics. I forget that some of these songs in the Stellaris soundtrack actually have lyrics. Okay. Again, I'm pulling back and trying to see what needs to be changed or added or edited to make it look good and make sense in my mind's eye. And I keep wanting to like chew at the end of my damn stylist, but but there's nothing to chew on. I don't want to break the damn thing, so I've got to resist that. And a little bit of elevation change here. So I got that. Well, even if nobody's talking in the chat, I can still tell I have a decent amount of concurrent viewers, or at least active viewers. Viewers, I guess active viewers would indicate talking. I'm not sure what constitutes that. I don't know the vernacular or the lingo of streaming, so... For all I know, I could just be on somebody's tab, muted. I don't know if that counts. Layer 8 here. Let's add just a little bit. There. Yeah, that's the right layer. Okay. Still, not sure if I'm there yet or not for this northern continent. Still think that northern highland needs to be filled out a bit more, but then again, I'm not sure if that's because of my natural tendency of being a human to create order or a pattern or regularity, or because it actually truly needs to be filled out. So I'm kind of at that point again. So now we're at that point where I gotta try and just figure out if this is enough or not. Why is art so hard? Alright, let's go back to 9. Let's make this island just a little bit less flat. It's large enough to have that indicator. Okay. Fill that out a bit. Let's figure this out. Is this good or not? Alright, let's actually go ahead and try. Let's make this look decent. That. Okay. Again, I apologize for not being as talkative as I have been. Just trying to concentrate on getting this looking right. got that. Okay. What do you think, chat? If anybody's like actually in the chat, what do you think? Think that looks decent? Think that's filled out enough, or is it look a little bit odd or off? And while I wait for any responses or anything like that, I'm going to go get myself a drink. So, I'm just going to put it right here. B-R-B. I will be right back while I go get something to drink and a bio break. Alright, I'm back, guys. So let's just come on back in, put my drawing glove on. Let's see if I can finish the damn contour lines today. Let's see there. Go ahead and make a little hilly region there. A couple of small ones. See, this is just like a big open space here. Can go ahead and do. Let's add just a little bit of height differential here. maybe just... a little bit more here. I think we're getting close, guys, because... Guys and maybe gals. Though I think my female audience, according to my analytics, is somewhere near 1%. So, doubt there's that many. Probably save just to make sure. Don't want to hard crash something to happen. See, now I'm zoomed out all the way to see if everything kind of looks okay to my eye. I do kind of like it. Because things will fill out a little bit more once we start getting some lakes and rivers in here. So I'm just trying to make sure it all looks good. To my eye, at least. And one other thing I wanted to go ahead and do is get this little, like, almost like St. Helena Islands. Or not St. Helena, it'd be more like, or was it St. Helena? I'm not sure. Whatever one the, whatever, like, small, like, nowhere place Napoleon went the second time. I forget what it was called. Got those. And we filled out a bit. So these areas are just a little bit too small to get like major chains. So okay, we got that going. Like half of this island, a little increase in elevation. Then we got this little chain down here. I've done most of this chain. I don't think there's a lot else for us to do. I mean, we can put like a little elevation change there and maybe one right there. Make it look good. And then for these small side islands, it's not too bad. They're supposed to be mountainous, so it kind of works. Just kind of plop them here. Doesn't look half bad. Okay, now this big boy down here, or at least moderately sized boy down here. Okay. How about that? Okay. Let's make sure that's kind of uniform. Okay. I think this needs to just be a little bit... we got a lot of open space here. Let's give this just like some hills along this coast, and then I think we're done with the land like contours. So let's like give this Like, not a lot, but just enough so that it doesn't look as bad. And this is a pretty, like, craggy coast. I like the idea of maybe it having some elevation. So let me do that. I think that looks better. Yeah. And maybe just a little bit of a mountain. Not really a range, but just a little bit there up north, so they got something. All right. So I like that. I think that looks okay. That looks okay. That's good. Just gonna modify this slightly. I think the this contour hug's a bit too close here. Go ahead and extend this out just a little bit more. Kind of see that. Easy enough. Move it right there. Okay. Alright, I think that looks a little better. And I wanted this to be fairly flat anyways, so that works. Yeah. Alright. One last look see through. Alright, I think that looks good. Obviously, I can go back and edit if I think I need more or less. But I think from a global scale, if I zoomed out like I am right now, this does not look half bad. Okay, let's call that done for the land contours. Oh, my sea contours are in the same folder. That's not what I wanted. Okay. So we got the land contours done at this point. Or at least as done as I think we're going to need. I mean, I might modify them later. But I think that looks good for the land contours. So now, we could do the sea contours. Those will be pretty quick. But I'm thinking, you know what? Yeah, let's do the sea contour. See, now I don't know. If we do the sea contours now, let's do, Let's do a new folder. New folder. Gonna have to rename it. Forget how to rename the damn folders. Oh, there we go. Number 1. Let's just call this Lakes and Rivers. Okay, Lakes and Rivers. That'll be on top of the land contour folder. And then we need a right there. We are just going to call this Lakes. Okay. So now, and see, here's the, so now we need to figure out what we're going to, but the lakes will be colored. Since we're going to have contours for the water as well, we need to keep that in mind. And normally, most atlases use the continental shelf color for lakes. So since the deepest blue is going to be since the deepest blue is the deepest part of the oceans on this little like 5-point scale, this light blue will be the continental shelf. So we're going to use that for our lakes on land and rivers. So now we get to the fun part. And by fun, I mean not fun. Now we got to work out river flow and where those will be. Now, I already kind of worked out where I'd like a river and lake system to be when I was working on this continent before I started streaming. I would like there to be a lake here, like a fairly large lake here, and this is like a river valley that kind of like from here and like here kind of goes in, and this kind of goes in, and so you've kind of like got a river valley that comes through here, empties out into a lake with a couple more rivers emptying out, and then they empty out into, and then the lake itself empties out into a larger river, which empties into the water here. I think that would look all right. So now we need to kind of work through that. So let's do the lake, kind of like a. Fairly large. So we got that. So we got that as a fairly large lake. And now I need to do the river. Try to see if there's any better pen tool for this. I don't think there's going to be really one that kind of works for it. Never actually tried this mapping pen, so let's do a test. So that could work. Let's try this mapping pen. See, here's the thing. We need to do this all in one stroke for rivers, because rivers start very thin and get thicker the further along they go, up to a certain point, obviously. So let's say the source of the river up here kind of is maybe like this area, and we're kind of just going down. Empties out into here. Starts getting a bit more. It's got a nice little wind to it before it empties into this area. So I mean, yeah, it's a bit of a hard turn for a river, but we can say that there's like another one Maybe its source is like... Maybe its source is here. Very light. Starting to get thicker. They merge there. That kind of makes sense why there's a little bit of a cutout along there. Okay. Oh, sorry guys, just doing a stretch. See, that's the rivers and lakes and stuff are the most nerve-wracking. Well, not nerve-wracking is the wrong word for it, obviously, but it's just the most stressful part for me because there's so much you can really fuck up when you're dealing with like water flow and rivers and lakes. So I'm trying to work out this way. Now I'm kind of looking at this and seeing where some more like rivers can like merge into that central one. And I mean, this is a big ass lake. Again, for anybody watching, because I can see some people have come back in. Nobody's talking in the chat, so I don't know if you guys are active. But like for reference, like this is like the real world in the same scale as this world that we're working on right now. So I mean, that's a fairly large lake. That's like a Great Lake sized lake, for reference. So we're kind of working with that. So this is definitely like a centerpiece of a civilization here. And this is a fairly large river. So I know not a lot's getting done, but we're kind of trying to make sure we're not fucking up here. I would hate to have to erase some of this. Theoretically, what I should have done, by the way, is I should have drawn those rivers as a separate layer. So we're gonna have to go ahead and undo those. God damn it. And those will have to be on top. That's my own problem right there. That's my own fault. Okay, rivers is a separate layer, but we already kind of know what we want to do here, so let's start this here. Exiting out. More and more. Okay, that empties out into that lake. And this one start here. Kind of goes down. All right. Yeah, there we go. We got that. Let's say there's a river that source starts here. So I can see something kind of coming out of there. All right, then we got like a little, not a delta, but we got kind of like a confluence of two rivers nearby. That'd be a very fertile region. All right, let's make the outlet for this. So it would kind of probably come out somewhere like right there. This would be a fairly large river. Just gonna make that kind of work there. It won't actually, that won't show up that much because again, continental shelf will be there when we draw it in. So that. Okay. So now the question is, are there any more rivers that are going to be coming into this main river? This one just kind of empties out. Could have one kind of... Well, see, there's that in the way, so we can't really do that. Could have a river kind of winding through here, and some of these come in. So this could be like a river valley, actually. That could work pretty well. So let's say a... Let's say there's a source that comes through here. Comes down through here. It's out. And it just kind of winds its way along out through there. Let's say there's another beginning of a source kind of higher up in the mountains. Goes through there. Comes through and it kind of just connects up there. We can have a second source. Wind its way between these two high points. Well, that doesn't look half bad. Don't notice anything like super like out of the ordinary or super poorly placed there that would jump out at me. Okay. There's probably another source here. I can see that kind of existing. Okay. That might be a much lighter river, so it kind of just goes through on a similar elevation until it drops down here. Looks all right. Now this area is going to have a lot of rivers, kind of coming out. Like one come out through here. It comes out that way. We can have a source come out of the really high parts of this mountain. That's not correct. I need to go ahead and erase that. Because it's the thing, water that kind of finds the best way to the ocean, and part of that is it doesn't like rivers don't kind of run parallel to each other that often. And apparently somebody's mowing the grass outside, very close to the window. So I apologize for that. By the way, did my music finish? Holy shit. Guys, we actually went through all of Stellaris' soundtrack. Okay, so, wow, okay. Let's go to the only other soundtrack I have available at the moment, which is going to be Vicky 2. I thought it was quiet in here. Okay. Let's do another source kind of coming out this way. That way. We can actually make this even better by upping the size of the brush so that it gets actually thicker the further we go. Well, I didn't want to just redo to start the Stellaris over again. Bunch of random letters, one. That seemed kind of lazy. And I'm assuming that's how I pronounce your name, given the fact that it's literally just a description. And somebody's mowing outside again. God damn. Unless your name is actually, like, pronounced somehow like an actual name. Like it's some obscure pronunciation of every single letter in there. Which is a possibility. I don't discount it. Okay, let's bring you up to an 8-level brush there. Alright. So 6 here. I mean, the Vicky 2 theme isn't bad. It's got nice tracks in it. A lot of classical stuff. And I'll be honest, given the fact that I'm a huge Civil War buff, that's like... I'm actually a fan of some of this music. Though I don't remember, does the Vicky 2 theme have Marching Through Georgia? That's currently like one of my favorite tracks to listen to. There's a couple of really good videos on YouTube of like not modern covers, but like modern bands doing that song. Oh yeah, those rivers look fucking amazing. A lot better than the stuff I normally do. Oh, I just gotta stretch my arm out, my shoulder. Oh, 3 hours of drawing. Whew. With bad posture. It gets to you. It gets to you, man. It gets to you. Okay. Let's do a source coming out of this mountain here. goes basically straight out. So the second smaller source kind of comes out through here. You even have a source coming out of this. That doesn't really work, actually. That would just go straight out. Could have one coming out of here, though, actually. One coming out of there. I'm gonna redo that. Okay. So one coming out of here. That looks good. Okay. Can even have one coming out of here. Alright. I'm all drawing these in the same brush size so that as the rivers kind of merge, I can increase it by one brush size and thicken the river a bit as it gets closer and closer to the ocean. So that kind of naturally looks bigger and bigger as it goes. At least that's the idea. Just double checking that the music's not overpowering. It's a little bit loud. We're gonna bring that down just a tad, so it's not as loud. Okay. All right, let's think about this. Let's have a source come out of here. Through there, through here, wind around a bit, and then come down through here. One long stroke. Can't take it off yet. Okay, I've got a phone call apparently. Who the hell's calling me now? Somebody in Alabama. Oh, hold on one second, guys. Alright, it was a robocall. Don't know why I picked it up. I don't know anybody in Alabama, so it's kind of a stupid idea. Oop, that was the wrong button. There we go. Okay, let's have a river come out of here. Let's have a source. Coalesce there. A source come out of here. Kind of having like a, I don't know, large river valleys kind of coalescing here. This also has a potential. Okay, so they're like meeting and then going around this way. Actually, that might, instead of meeting that river, then meet along there. Okay, let's we can do that. That's the one. Come across here. Thicken up this bad boy. Continue thickening it up as it goes down along. Okay, doesn't look too bad. We might actually erase these rivers and put like maybe a lake somewhere around here. That might look a bit better. I think we're going to do that. I'm going to erase this. And we're going to put down a lake. Maybe along here. Maybe along that way. Okay, two fairly large lakes on this continent. Then we can go ahead and get some rivers down. So like a river here. Connects up. And here. That'll connect up. Not that. Ooh, I know, I see it. I see a decent river flow here. I'll connect up there. Let's have this one come across. Right there. looks fairly good. And then this lake will empty out here. Okay, that's not too bad. Obviously, that's a lot of detail for, like, a world map, but I want the rivers to look nice and the lakes to look nice. Oh. So, let's get these... Let's make these rivers thick. Okay. There we go. That is a fairly nice effect that actually works pretty well. Making these rivers actually look like rivers. And it makes the important ones actually stick out on the world scale, which is good. Okay, there's going to be some here. So let's get a source kind of coming out of this area. Okay, the river goes out that way. So source coming out of these hills. Up there. All right. Okay, that doesn't look half bad. That does not look half bad. Let's get these rivers thick now. Okay. Good. Oh, thank you, BBB Jot. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to pronounce that, but I'm just going to call you Bees. Thanks, Bees. There are other people that do this kind of stuff. Maybe not live stream it, I don't think. But actually, no, earlier in the stream, we were talking about, like, other world-building channels that exist, like, dedicated to world-building, and their stuff's amazing. A lot better than what I do. So, I don't know. I wouldn't toot my own horn there. What is his name? Artifexian on YouTube. He's amazing. He does, like, conlang stuff and world building stuff, like scientific based world building, which turns out some amazing content. Amazing content. And he has a series about doing like an atlas, kind of like this one, but instead of it being an Arizer-based program, which is what this is Clip Studio Paint, he does it in like a vector-based program, which I think he does it in Adobe Design, I think. Which, I mean, I think probably turns out a better product than what I'm doing. Okay. So we got these rivers down. Just trying to see if there's any others that kind of like speak to me that are obvious that need to be put down. Okay, there's one. I can see it right now. So like, source coming out of here. Coming down. Coming through there, through this little valley. Emptying out through here and out. Can even have a source coming from this area. Link up there. Even another one here. Got like a little river coming down from the highlands there. So let's get this river thickened up a little bit. Okay. It's a fairly decent looking river right there. It's cool though. I'm coming from an interest geology I guess that's in geology more than the fiction part of world building. Oh, I mean, yeah. See, that's then this probably makes no sense. Then this world is not like I'm not accounting for any geology or plate tectonics or anything. Like, it's kind of in my head when I'm designing some of this stuff, but it's definitely not scientifically accurate. This world here. So I don't know if you're don't know if I'm the best place to go to for it. Oh my god. Anything else that's jumping out at me in terms of rivers? I see one that could work. This coming out through here. Oof. Hand slipped there. Okay, that doesn't look half bad. Continue this curve a little bit more strongly. So it looks like it's, yeah, that looks a bit better now. Okay, any others? Come on, rivers, stand up and be counted. It's not just whether or not a place looks like it needs a river, it's also got to have kind of an area that doesn't have a source too close to it, so that it makes sense. Okay, that doesn't look half bad. Can even go ahead and right now we can do some like little tiny small lakes that kind of work. So like, let's get like one right here. Something like that. Kind of right here. Yeah, that makes sense. Then some smaller river systems along that way. This continent? Hold on. Because I can actually give you a fairly decent comparison. This is the world in comparison. It's scaled exactly to my world. So, there you go. So there's there's North America compared to this continent. So I'll leave that up there for a bit so you can actually get a reference point. It's not like it's tiny. So I mean, like these lakes here, these like 2 lakes, these are like the size of probably like Lake Michigan or Ontario. So they're like kind of Great Lakes in a sense. Let's draw in the little mini river systems here that are gonna sprout up because of this lake. Let's say that empties out here. It kind of works. I think that's pretty detailed enough in terms of river systems and lakes for this continent. I don't think we need much more there. It should be like the most major rivers. This is a world atlas or a world map anyways, so it kind of works out. Just trying to see if there's any place that really jumps out at me. Nothing really. So I think that's good. Okay. Now we're going to have to really look into this continent here, which is going to be a bit harder because it's a lot flatter. So there's not going to be as many... there might be as many rivers. It might wind a lot more. I'll have to think on that. Though, guys, I have been streaming for 3 hours, almost 3.5 hours. Closer to 3.5 than 3. And I gotta tell you, that is murder on the shoulder with this drawing pad and everything, and my posture. I mean, we got a lot done today. I finished all the contours from only having really finished this continent when we started to finishing this one, and all of the smaller ones. So all the land contours are done. we got, I think, most of the lakes and rivers done for the northwestern continent. This southern continent we're gonna have to work on, and the northwestern continent we still need to do. But those shouldn't be too bad. Once that's done, then it's the water or the ocean contours. Then afterwards we just do national borders and like major landmarks and stuff, and then we're done with the map, and we can get to like world building and labeling and stuff like that. So that's cool. We should probably, like, I think I'm going to be working on this a little bit in my off time like I did last week. So next week we should have most of this done. So yeah, but we're going to end this stream here after almost 3.5 hours of work and a lot of progress made. I want to thank everybody who showed up and watched. We had a fairly consistent 5, 6... like concurrent viewers like throughout this whole thing, and that's amazing for only my second stream, and it was fairly active in the chat. So again, thank you everybody for joining me, but I'm gonna head off, and I'll see you all in the next stream. Bye.